I was just following orders. I was just doing my job. Look, I'm just trying to do my job. Look, I'm only following orders. If these sound like good reasons to you, um, I need you to listen. These are excuses for bad behavior. First and foremost, fundamentally, these are people trying to excuse or deflect responsibility for their own actions. Um, and I can't emphasize this enough. If someone pays you to rob someone and you go and rob someone, the legal system is going to go after the person who paid you, absolutely. But they're also going to go after you, and rightly so, because you're the one that did the robbing. Now, this is true across all works of life. If you are being told by someone to do something that you know to be wrong, that you would have no business doing off duty or outside of work, if you decided to dump all of your oil into the little creek behind your house because you just changed your oil, you'd be wrong to do that. You'd be spoiling the waterway for the critters in there and everyone around you. You would know it would be wrong. You shouldn't do it. If you work for a major chemical corporation, you might just hit a button and spoil a river on a regular basis. That might be part of your job, right? It doesn't magically become not a problem because it's part of your job. The same thing is true of, I don't know, imprisoning someone. I mean, if someone's walking on the beach and your boss says, hey, that person's not allowed to walk on the beach, I need you to put them in handcuffs and put them in jail, you wouldn't do that off duty. On duty, well, my boss told me to do it, I'm just following orders. That's a dumb excuse. That's a dumb excuse. I've got a friend down in Carmel, California, who's still raking all of the enforcers over the coals on that one. She's getting people fired because what they figured out is they weren't doing stuff the right way. They haven't got to the core of the problem yet, which is that no one has a right to do that to you, even if they're wearing a badge. That's where we got to get to, because the badge doesn't confer absolute moral authority. It doesn't. Having a law behind you doesn't do that either. The scribbles of paper that politicians write do not carry the authority of we can do what we want to you. That's not what that is. That's not what that is. And the entirety of the problem, the complete thing that makes this problem actually a problem, is that people believe that they are right to follow orders. That is an excuse. It's the same excuse, not to be hyperbolic here, but it's exactly the same thing. So forgive me the hyperbole here. I don't find it hyperbolic at all. This is the excuse that people were giving at the Nuremberg trials after World War II as to why they were doing the horrible things to people that they were doing in the camps and the quote unquote hospitals and all this stuff. They were hanging doctors after that trial. And their last ditch excuse was, I was following orders. I had orders. I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it. That doesn't cut it if you're wearing a badge. I don't care how nicely pressed or how nicely shined your shoes are. I don't care how much smoke you had blown up your ass telling you how good and righteous it is to follow the law. You're ignoring the most basic law, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the corollary of that is don't do to others what you wouldn't have done to you. And the fact that you are willing to ignore that because someone gave you money doesn't make you good. It actually makes you the bad guy. And yeah, I'm kind of talking to cops right now, but I could just as easily be talking to a grocery clerk enforcing some county rule that says that you're not allowed to let people with naked faces into your establishment. That's asinine. That's stupid. That's stupid. Just following orders. And the reason you're doing it is because that county would shut you down. Now, the county would shut you down. The person doing it, well, I'm just following orders. No. This problem is so deep. This order following is so deep. It's such a problem. It's how our government works in general, is through a system of issuing orders and having enforcers enforce those orders. It's anti-human, fundamentally. We don't need a law in the books to tell you not to kill. Not required. Don't need a law to say that. Every human being has a right to be alive. And any attempt to make someone not alive is called attempted murder. And that word existed, I think, before there was a statute about it in the state of I don't give a fuck, right? We have a responsibility to each other to be good people, and there's some people who violate it, and you've got every right to defend yourself. The idea of having enforcers out constantly threatening violence on every human being, brandishing their guns around, it's unnecessary. Some people might think it's necessary, but it isn't. These people that are making people's lives suck because they rolled through a stop sign, or making people's lives suck because they wanted to breathe ambient air or go to the beach. Yeah, this is all old history now, a lot of it, but it's ongoing history too. The problem we've got in our society right now, in this country, is that we have mantles of power that are in effect only because there are people willing to do horrible things to other people for a paycheck. That's the whole nature of the problem right now, is that 100 people get together and 75 of them want to found a town or something, and 25 of them live in the town limits, but they didn't want the town. Well, now we have a town, and those 75 people, they hired a thug to go collect taxes from the 25 people who didn't want the town. I mean, on a very small scale, that's basically what we got here, is this violent tax collection system that, as long as you got some mook in your community who's willing to say, oh yeah, okay, I got the authority now, I'll collect the money from everybody. Oh, you give me a gun too? How grand is that? We've got a problem. It's people willing to take money to hurt other people. And the I'm just doing my job thing, it doesn't cut it, guys. It doesn't cut it. If you're wearing a badge right now and you're enforcing shit that you know to be violations of people's basic freedoms, go fuck yourself. Find another job. You're young enough. Figure it out. Figure it out. Don't hurt people for a living. Don't make people fear you for a living. You're on the wrong side. I can't tell you what to do with your finances. I know you got pensions coming. I know you got medical coverage. I know you got all the bells and whistles because our society said, ooh, we really want these people to enforce shit for us. And so they made the package really sweet. All I can say is you guys are getting fat on candy. And if you're hurting people while doing that, That's on you personally.